What's up, pagan people? Happy Mabon. Although by the time you see this, it'll be the Friday after Mabon. Technically, today isn't Mabon either for me. I did celebrate on Mabon and I did record, though what I did to celebrate was rather scaled down and small. And it's sad because I was really looking forward to Mabon this year. Last year, as many of you will know, Hurricane Florence came through and just turned it all on its head. It was 2 weeks before Mabon when she came, and of course, Michael, the tropical storm that came right behind her, came the week before. And I just put that video up, so, I wasn't in the greatest place. I had big plans, and I was so excited, and I didn't have a kitchen. A great majority of the stuff that should have been in the kitchen was in the living room, and a great majority of the stuff that should have been in the living room or other rooms of the house was actually in the studio. The studio and my son's bedroom were actually the two safest rooms in the house, thankfully. So everything got shoved into the studio because we were not going to put our stuff in our son's room. Unless we absolutely had to, which we didn't, thankfully. So there wasn't much space, or the energy was, everything was off. And I honestly don't remember, but I am sure that I made a little time and space just to be grateful for the fact that my family made it through and that we were all safe and we were together and all that good stuff. But honestly, I really wasn't feeling very grateful in that moment. So totally missed. I was very upset about it. I got over it, obviously, but I was upset. So this year, building up to Mabon, I am getting super excited and happy because, again, it is my favorite. This year it falls on my mother's birthday. That doesn't happen overly much. I think the last time it happened was probably, 7 to 12 years ago. So I don't know. It's been a while. So that made it a bit more special for me. Oh, all right. So last week I was kind of freaking out. I had a little bit of a health scare, if you will. First, I'm fine. Everything is fine as of right now. Nothing to worry about. But at the time, I was freaking out a bit. So last week I was kind of scatterbrained until last Wednesday. I was just kind of out of it. And then I was riding this sort of euphoric high. Thursday and Friday, I was just so relieved and happy and just felt so grateful that I'm healthy and everything's fine, because I was scared. I was scared that I might have cancer. I was scared that I might have breast cancer, but I don't. Just fibrous tissue. It's normal. It happens. Anyway, so Saturday we go grocery shopping for the week. As many of you know, I have switched to a vegetarian diet, and so I don't really play by ear most of the time anymore. Whereas the way I used to cook, I used to mainly just keep certain things in the house because, for instance, the vast majority of the food we eat is either Asian inspired, Mexican inspired, or Italian inspired. This is the bulk of what we eat, is the foods that we like. So I usually just kept certain staples in the house and I could whip together something in one of those categories very quickly. Well, now that there's no meat involved, it's a little bit harder. Those are still the staples of our diet, although we do eat other stuff and we always have. But I don't just keep, the only thing I keep I make sure I have vegetable stock in the house at all times. Anything else, it just comes, because it's mostly vegetables. It's just coming in and out all the time. So I have to plan out my meals for the week. So I planned out the meals, we went shopping, we came home, and then I'm sitting there on the couch Sunday night, and I'm like, I wonder what day Mabon falls on. Because I know what date, but I'm not thinking about what date it is then. I have no idea what date it is as I'm sitting there on Sunday. So I flip open my virtual calendar, and obviously it's tomorrow. So again, I'm disappointed, and I'm like, because I had ideas of what I wanted to do, but I hadn't put that into my weekly meal plan. And so we're a family on a budget. I couldn't just go back out and buy what I wanted. So I made it work. I just decided, I just picked one of the things that was going to be a meal for the week and did it for Mabon. It's fine. Hopefully, I don't know what it is with Mabon. I just can't get it straight lately. hopefully next year I'm better prepared and it works out and everything's fine. It really is my favorite. Anyway, Sunday night, I'm not feeling the greatest. My youngest son is sick. He's still sick, actually. He was sick Sunday and Monday. He stayed home Monday and Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. He's in school. But I also was not feeling well. And yeah, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, not feeling great. Not feeling super sick, just not feeling very good. So here it is, Mabon, and I can't do any of the things I had planned, any of them, because I totally spaced that Mabon was coming because I was overly concerned with my health, which, you know, is normal, but so on Mabon, I feel crappy. I don't have anything. Like, I like to do something crafty. I like to cook something, and then, you know, I have another element, and then ritual or whatever. And I just, what was I going to do crafty? I didn't have anything planned. I normally think this out at least a week in advance to figure out, you know, what it is I'm going to do. Sometimes even longer. Sometimes, you know, I'm planning from Sabbath to Sabbath. Like, the whole time I'm thinking, what am I going to do the next one? Well, I worked it out. I was actually flipping through Pinterest and I was looking at all these beautiful centerpieces and I was just like, you know what? I've got plenty of stuff just laying around the house. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use what I have at hand and make something beautiful for Mabon. And I'm going to make my black bean soup, which it was a new recipe I was just trying, but it was really good. Even though it kind of looked more like chili by the time it was done, it didn't taste anything like chili, at least not the chili I make. It tastes like black bean soup. It was good. Just throwing together what I have on hand, just making black bean soup and feeding the birds and hanging out with my family and thinking of the things I have to be grateful for. And I didn't even do ritual, even though my gratitude rituals, the first ritual I ever did was a gratitude ritual, and it's my favorite. I visualized it in my head over and over again, but I just really felt horrible. That was my Mabon, and here are all the clips and the scenes from what I did. I hope that you guys all had a great Mabon, and I am really hoping that Samhain is better. Samhain was messed up last year as well because of the hurricane. It was still, my house was still in disarray at that time. But this year should be better. I should be able to make pumpkin bread and all the things I want to do. So stay tuned. Hopefully my next Sabbath is more interesting. Without further ado, celebrate Mabon with me. So this is how it's turned out. I'm really happy with it, considering I was pretty much winging it, barely had a plan going in. I did have to play around with a few things and get it figured out, but this is what I went with. Okay, so this is just a tray that lives on our dresser in our bedroom. The basket was not working out the way I wanted. Here is some dehydrated citrus. This is tiger iron, and this is creedite, and they both just sort of have this sort of fall energy to me, vaguely. My little white wooden pumpkin. I've got some cinnamon sticks and some more citrus. I have some beans. Just again throwing stuff together, and a maroonish red candle. This little clip fake flower I've had forever. I collect crockery, so grabbed one of my crocks. And then these are applewood twigs that came from our apple tree. I keep them because I can use them in my magic, and some fairy lights I had on hand. This is my antique mortar and pestle. I thought it would go. And then this is witch's grass that grows wild in the yard. And right here, for a flash of color, I've got a little bit of my Japanese maple. And here is my dark half of the year candle. And obviously inside this beautiful little cage. What are these called? I don't even know what they're called. And then this is a piece of birch bark, paper birch. And basically that's it. There's my Mabon centerpiece. It will remain as it is until Samhain, or close to Samhain, when I start really decorating for Samhain. So probably at least 2 or 3 weeks. And that turns out that was my crafty project for Mabon.